Dr. McNicholas, what's the medical consensus for age of viability of a fetus?
I appreciate the question. So viability is a complicated medical construct. There is no particular gestational age. There are some pregnancies in which a fetus will never be viable. There are a number of different factors that we think about when we're considering if a pregnancy is or isn't viable.
So is there a legal consensus on the age of viability?
Not to my understanding, but I'm a physician, not a lawyer.
What's, in your 10 years as a doctor, how many abortions have you performed?
So I provide a variety of different services, and
I'm not asking about the other services. How many
Right.
abortions have you performed?
So I can't tell you how many hysterectomies I've done, and I can't tell you how many abortions I've done. I've had a long career of taking care of people for a variety of things.
So you manage a facility. Can you tell me, or you're the medical overseer, that, can you tell me how many abortions the facility in Missouri performs each week?
I can tell you, and I believe it's publicly available, so I can give you a rough estimate of how many abortions we perform per year, which is, I think, roughly around 3,000.
How do you dispose of 3,000 fetuses every year?
So Missouri has a state law that requires that we send all of the remains of pregnancy to pathology.
What's the latest term abortion that you've performed, like gestation period in weeks?
So my practice includes the provision of abortion up until the point of viability. And again, we already had a discussion about viability not being a...
So just give me the number in weeks then.
I don't know.
You don't remember the number of weeks?
That's correct. So
what about size of the unborn baby? Do you know the largest baby that you've aborted?
I'm not sure how I would even quantify that.
If I use the word fetus, do you know, you have no idea the age or gestation period of the fetuses that you're aborting?
So again, as I said, my practice includes abortion care through the point of viability, and as we previously discussed, that could be
Let me put it this way.
Point, yes.
Is there any point of gestation beyond which you personally would not abort a fetus?
You know, medicine is not black and white. I recognize, in my 10 years of practice informs this opinion, that pregnancy can be really complicated, and given that there are pregnancies for which a fetus may never be viable, I think it's really important that we allow physicians and patients to have every medical resource to make decisions that are appropriate for them and their health.
In the absence of a law preventing it, would you abort a viable fetus?
Again, every patient is different, and I can't make any...
I'm just asking about a viable fetus. If the law didn't prevent it, would you consider it a limitation morally for you to abort a viable fetus?
So I think you're forgetting that there are a number of reasons that go into patient's choice.
I thought you, at your clinic, does it matter what the reason is for the abortion?
At my clinic, I trust that women have a valid reason. Every reason that they have is valid.
Okay, so given that you think that every reason is valid, would you abort a viable fetus if there was not a law preventing it?
Again, given that the reality for people choosing abortion is that there are many reasons, there isn't a single thing that defines somebody's choice. It is a reflection of their...
You seem to have a hard time saying this. This tells me you have a heart, or at least you know that people watching this have a heart, and they would be concerned if you would just admit, which you won't admit here, that you would abort a viable fetus for any reason if the law did not prevent it.
Mr. Massie, abortion is moral, it is important, it is health care, and I support people being the experts in their own lives and making decisions for themselves.
It gives me some hope that you here understand that people do not support you when you say, or if you would say that you would abort a viable fetus for any reason. But given what you told us in your opening statement and knowing what you've said, we know that you would, but it does give me hope that you still know in your heart that's wrong. Mrs. Stuckey,
I'm not sure. Can I respond to that really quickly?
If you would answer my question, you could, but you won't. So I'm going to use my remaining time asking Mrs. Stuckey, should any reason be a good reason for having an abortion?
Absolutely not. It's a child. It's a life inside the womb from the moment of conception onward. And I'm very troubled by how flippantly she said that there are 3,000 abortions performed every year of defenseless human beings, and the remark that abortion is moral.
Time has
Can
expired. I
imagine
reckon
that
the
kind of
we
a
had-
logic
we had-
driving my
we-
lifestyle.
No, the time has expired. I recognize.
Gave the others
woman.
over 2 minutes over, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we need to be fair on both sides of the aisle, please, sir.
You want to finish your.
Please, I'd like for,
No, finish your answer. Go ahead.
I don't quite understand the logic of saying that killing a child inside the womb for any reason whatsoever is moral, is healthcare. In what other situation, besides when a child is defenseless in the womb, do we call killing someone healthcare? Do we call killing someone moral? Can anyone on the pro-abortion side tell me a situation outside of a defenseless child inside the womb in which it is morally justifiable to kill someone simply because they're not wanted? That's the answer, or that's the answer that I would like. That's the question that I have. I unfortunately don't think anyone's able to answer it for me.